Eastern Connecticut State University. Upon the recommendation of the Department of History, Philosophy, and Political Science, and with the concurrence of the Board of Trustees of the Connecticut State University, the President of Eastern Connecticut State University does hereby appoint His Excellency William A. O'Neill, Governor of the State of Connecticut, as Honorary Professor of Government.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much, Mr. President, members of the dais, and students and graduates and parents and those that are about to graduate. As I was standing up here thinking about this honorary doctorate that has just been presented to me for all my endeavors and my victories in politics, I thought to myself, that Jason looks like a pretty good candidate in the future to me. I'm honored to be with you on this great day. There's always a very special atmosphere at commencement exercises such as this one, and I'm pleased to take part in them. I can feel in the air today the combination of celebration and high expectation, of great hopes, mixed emotions that one normally associates with ocean voyages and other sorts of leave-taking. And indeed, today, you who are graduating embark from this safe harbor onto the open seas and toward the distant horizons of the world at large. I'm especially happy today to be honored by this university with this honorary professorship. As you know, and it's been repeated here today as well, things are going very, very well in Connecticut, and the people seem to be pleased with my performance. But in my line of work, you never know when you're going to need something to fall back on. Thank you. Today, as I have indicated, the world opened up before you. The road that leads away from this campus leads to every imaginable destination on Earth. With your diploma in hand, as you travel down whatever road you choose, you are limited only by your imagination and your willingness to work hard for what you want. On this momentous occasion, I urge you to follow your dreams and to have the good sense to make the most of your opportunities. I also urge you to reach beyond your own lives, your own concerns, in order to develop a genuine interest in the world around you, and that you participate in the public affairs of your community no matter where you end up. And of course, selfishly, I hope you all end up in Connecticut. I say this to all our young people, but especially to those who have worked as you have in order to achieve a college degree. I want your enthusiasm to infuse and invigorate every level of Connecticut life. I want your energy and your drive in our own workforce, where you can help keep the wheels of our economy humming. I want your concern and your youthful nerve to challenge and question the conventions of society when they no longer speak to your needs. I want your creativity to bring new perspectives and new solutions to the problems of tomorrow. And I want your fresh vision of life to help us all remember and understand what it was like when the world was bright and new and ours to conquer. I want all of that for Connecticut, not just because I'm its governor, but also because I truly believe it is the best place on earth in which to live, and I want it to stay that way, ladies and gentlemen. As I drove out here today through the gentle green hills that are so familiar to me, and by now to you, I thought once again of the role that this place, Connecticut, has played in who we are and who we will become. For just as surely as a Texan is a product of Texas, and a Californian a product of California, most of us who are gathered here today are products of Connecticut, either by birth or by choice. And I believe that we, to a greater or lesser extent, embody the considerable virtues of our home, in its land, in its traditions, and in its people. Connecticut is a place of stability, continuity, and of strength. There is a stability in the steady pulse of our rivers and in the peace of our rolling terrain. There is order in the progression of our seasons, as there is a sense of civilization in the public greens of our cities and the church spires and the stone walls of the countryside. There is continuity all around us in the symbols of our proud heritage, whether it's in our public buildings, our venerable institutions, or the words passed down to us by the founders of this nation. By this near presence of history in Connecticut, we are reminded of our modest place in the flow of times and events. And we are also reminded of our responsibilities to take the torch of our learning, our civilization, to protect it and pass it along to those who follow. There is strength in the legacy of our Yankee forebearers who carved out of this wilderness the land of prosperity and steady habits. As a state, we still owe much to the Yankee lessons of ingenuity, perseverance, thrift, and common sense. And yet, for all these traditional values and virtues, Connecticut has never closed itself off to the rest of society. On the contrary, it has always been a place that has welcomed innovation, new ideas, and new peoples within its borders. In its innovation, for instance, that has allowed our manufacturers to remain amongst the most highly respected in the world. For well over 150 years, running from the early button makers through the cotton gin and the dollar watch, and up to the visionary X-wing helicopter of Sikorsky aircraft, Connecticut has been at the very forefront of the world's economy. It is our acceptance of new ideas that led to the drafting in 1638 of the Fundamental Orders, a document that marked the beginning of American democracy. And it's that same pursuit of a better way of life that today allows Connecticut to produce landmark legislation in the areas of education, environment, and family issues, to name just a few. And it's been our tolerance and our receptivity that has allowed us to welcome successive waves of immigrants into our fields and our factories and our schools and into every precinct of our society. And thus have all of them, in their richness and color and variety, combined to create the vibrant, busy, prospering place that Connecticut is today. Connecticut prospers and grows. Today, Eastern Connecticut State University prospers and grows. Thanks in a great part, I should point out, to the hard work and supreme dedication of your president, Dr. Charles Webb. And I congratulate you, Mr. President, for a job outstanding, and we will miss you. But I don't think you're going to make yourself a stranger to this university or to the state of Connecticut. And certainly I hope that you don't make yourself a stranger to me. But what will tomorrow bring? What problems will you be called upon, you, the graduating class, to address 30 years from now? What crisis will you have to respond to, perhaps in the middle of the night? Certainly you'll be faced with a continuing and worsening problem of global overpopulation, of feeding the world's hungry, and of bringing real and lasting peace to this weary planet. Closer to home, we will need to house our poor and our working poor. We will need to stave off the poison of acid rain, and we will have to continue our struggle to keep drug and alcohol from polluting the wellspring of all our hopes of the future, the young people of this state. Your efforts in approaching and in dealing with these problems can be gratifying and sustaining, and I truly urge you to get involved. But it is my hope that no matter where you roam or what you do, you will always carry Connecticut within you. As you face those problems of the future, I hope you will strive to embody the fundamental stability of our ancestors, as well as their practical ability to adjust and to adopt. And I hope that when you think back on this happy day in this green and peaceful part of the world, you'll be able to draw great strength from it. Today, as you leave here and enter your various careers, the world that you're facing is a great, large, shining apple. And you are indeed entitled to take your bite of that apple. But in so doing, make sure that you always remain enough of the apple left for those that follow. Thank you very, very much for having me with you today. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.